Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from our comfy couch here in the Oscars, and it's the Gaming Saloon reviews for April 26, 2026, which are recipes work 2448 and wrap it up, Salon.
Hi.
I was waiting on the bot to tweet, and it didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why it'll sometimes do it and sometimes won't. Because, I mean, I can push it, but it's going to do like it's been doing. Because I can do that.
It just wants to be uncooperative. But yeah, we have a four-parter, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's kind of like it's a hard three-parter definitively, but it's like a soft, like, here's a fourth part because we do all this for the mecha, and we also want to do one last episode for the new Ranger, and then they're not going to be around for like legal purposes.
Oh, one of those kind of issues.
Yeah, here's the thing about Yaoi's actress. She is underage during this production, which means her screen time is limited by law.
Ah.
Yeah, so she's only going to get to show up so much, even though she, unlike the other two, is not a ghost.
So she might as well be a ghost.
They make that joke in the show. I'll just say right now, they make that joke in the show. Because they team her up with the two ghosts, and they're like, we're the Spirit Rangers. And she's like, oh, wait, I can't be. I'm not dead like you two are. Oops. They're like, it's fine.
I'm not actually dead, just dead to the eyes of everyone watching the show.
Yeah. Which sucks, because it's like, hey, second female on the team, and she's not going to be around enough.
Yep.
But yeah, it is episodes 21 through 24 this week. Any thoughts going into the episodes?
No.
All right, then, looking out for episode 21, Zoom, Plaison's back. So the team is informed that Plaison, our ninth Zyuden Ryu, is back from space exploring a planet that got destroyed by the Daeboss before, because they were basically trying to find cells of Daeboss so they could upload a program into Plaison to make it the ultimate Daeboss killing machine. That is not an exaggeration. That is the exact plot of this basic three-parter. But as it's coming back into the Earth's atmosphere, the team sees it crash into water, and they fight some monsters for a bit before Kyoryuger Violet shows up, who's an actual ranger, not a dead person. As we'll find out later, he is an old man who is also the voice of the Changers. That is also not a bit. This is actually the actor that does the voice for the Changers. But yeah, they fight off the monsters and then get introduced to Kyoryuger Violet, who's this doctor guy that I don't... Did we ever get the doctor's name?
I feel like yes, but it was like once.
It was once when they were first introduced, and then everyone just calls him Doc afterwards. We're introduced to him. Basically, Torin met him. He made all the changers. Torin basically went, "You sound like these changers. Make us new ones." So he's the one responsible for the guns. I think they went over in an episode that Torin was the one who made Gold's gear for back in the day.
I don't remember.
I remember that being a...
I know they did say that in this episode, so I mean...
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he's the voice of the guns and all that. He has his granddaughter, Yaoi, who's basically your stereotypical, like, computer assist person. She has a massive crush for Red, which gives him 3 people who has a crush on him in this show so far. Because we've got the idol from the movie.
And he's too dense to catch on to any of them.
Yeah. Fortunately for him, the 3rd person who has a crush on him is also too dense to realize that's what she has.
Yes.
Yeah, if I read my notes, I would see that his name is apparently Watershed. But yeah, before the Doc can introduce himself as Security Violet, the gang has to go fight 3 revived monsters. It's basically the ice monster, the virus monster, and the meteor monster for previous episodes that are now their own evil Sentai. Basically. That's the bit they're doing. It's also why they're throwing around a ball, because that's a Go Ranger thing. Yes, that was their legit finisher back in like the 70s. Was we pass this ball, then you kick it, and it turns into a thing and blows up the monster. I don't know why, it just is.
Reasons.
Yep. But yeah, they're fighting the monster, they're having a rough go of it until the Doc shows up and then introduces himself as Violet in the most extra way possible, because look, if you haven't been able to tell if you've seen clips of the show by how the Changer is voice-wise, yeah, this man extra as hell. Unfortunately, he throws out his back during his roll call, and the team immediately has to scramble and defend him and throw him around to protect him. But they managed to do, and then Violet gives Daigo Plazon control, and then we get Plazo, which is the transformed state of Plazon, because he can do the same thing Terra Deno can do. Any thoughts on Plazo as a mech?
Granted,
it
I'm
has.
not so bad for not really caring about the mechs.
Fair. But yeah, Plazon blows up the monster after taking it to space, because it's a spaceship, so it's going to do space things. So hooray, except Chaos reveals that all of this was a part of a larger plan. Because they're trying to find Plazo's lab, and oh look, the virus monster can use bits of him to find the lab. There's 6 is episode 22. It can't be! They're both revived! So, finding that they are lacking in emotions to revive Chaos, or to revive their day boss, Chaos is like, all right, time for plan B. And plan B is basically going to be have Dogold and the virus guy go to a dam. Virus guy to use the water of Lucky Ruse to turn the water behind the dam into all this like rejuvenating water, and then to slam the castle into it to revive Dabos the hard way. Meanwhile, they're updating Plazon. I think this is where we get the thing about her having a crush on him, and Amy's jealous about it, but doesn't know why she's jealous about it. She tries to help, but I feel like he's the last person to help in this situation.
I mean, yeah.
But anyway, the team deploys to fight the monsters. Unfortunately, Virus shows up to the base and like knocks out Yaoi, buries Plazon in rubble as Daboss revives while the team is there. The team tries to go in with their mechas. It doesn't work. He basically trashes most of them, as we'll see in the next episode. And also Chaos like blows up the virus monster, so the one that's attacking Yaoi in the base blows up as well. And we end on the cliffhanger there as they form right in Kyoryuger. So how do you feel halfway through?
I'm not gonna lie, it kind of felt like this was finally getting somewhere.
Yep.
But then I also looked at the episode count and I'm like, wait. Crap. This is gonna be one of those where we're padding, aren't we?
Hey, it feels like a final confrontation. Oh wait, we're only halfway through the show. Oops. Time to shake up the status quo and then reset it back. Spoilers, that's what we're gonna do next week. Yeah, the action was fine. Hey, Daigo used Dino's Grander, and apparently that's the only time he ever uses Dino's Grander, which surprises me. It feels like that would have been used once more by him, because that's usually how upgrades like this go, but apparently not. I do like the bit where the mechs are afraid of Daboth because, oh yeah, this is the thing that basically killed us last time. It is only a little bit sad because like Daigo's basically piloting the mechs. I think it's next episode he's piloting the mechs solo while the rest of the team is just knocked out in the cockpit, and I'm like, this feels incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
For them all to be passed out on the pedestals while we're fighting.
I love that even Torin's like, are you seriously? That's stupid.
Anyway, shall we get to the second half?
Yep.
All right, episode 23, Stand Bakuretsu Kyoryuger. So, Daboth continues to rampage, breaks up right in Kyoryuger, basically attacks the team, then starts attacking the Daboth crew, which Chaos is like, shit. He went a little crazy. We kind of need to rein him in a little. Lucky Roo, you got the orbs? Here's an orb. Shoot it at him. Because apparently they have a reversing agent to turn monsters back small in ball form. I can't wait for that to never come up again. So they do that, tie up Chaos, or tie up Daboth and just run away with it after wrecking most of the mechs. And presumably killing Plazon, except Chaos is like, did you watch them die? No, then go find the bodies and bring me the heads. Don't ever assume we killed them. So back at the spirit base, Torres basically rescued everybody and has his stone wings because of it. And so everybody's on rest duty as Daigo goes and finds out why Plazon didn't show up. He ends up running into the monsters in a Yaoi who was on the beach because Plazon teleported her out of the base. And that was about as much as he could do at the moment because he's affected by the virus monster that's keeping him paralyzed, I guess.
Yes, I guess.
But Daigo takes on the monsters, and Daboth, who's back with just a gun because fuck it. I think the rest of the team eventually shows up to help. Yaoi realizes she needs to inject Plazon with Brave, and so basically uses herself as a battery to like get Plazon back on his feet to help with the fight. And so after they fight back all the generals and stuff, the Daigo hops in Gabutyra and forms Bakuretsu Kyoryugen with Plazon, Gabutyra, and Bunpaki, because I don't know why Bunpaki's here. He just is. We needed another arm. So how do you like Plazon riding Gabutyra as a mech? Or that one Halloween costume where it looks like you're riding a horse, but you're not.
I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
I can't say if that's a good or a bad thing, but I mean, that's different.
I just find it funny that like Bunpaki's here just because we needed another arm. No other reason. Literally anyone else could be in this slot that is normally on that side of Kyoryugen. It doesn't have to be Bunpaki, but it's Bunpaki because the mace is cool.
Also, did you happen to catch that when Bunpaki attaches, he does the normal sound as if he was for Kyoryugen?
Yeah, so
except for he's the only one.
Right. Okay, here's the dumb thing about how that works, because this gets into the toy. So, do you remember back at episode like 1 or 2 when they showed how Kyoryugen forms?
Yeah.
Where they have to take the batteries out of the other dinosaurs and put them into Gabutyra, and he chomps down and reads them and puts in Gabutyra and all that?
Yeah.
That's how the toy works. That's where the sounds are coming from. Is Gabutyra reading the battery when he chomps on them? So technically that's just him reading the battery and during the formation process.
But
I don't remember.
We don't absolutely have to do that every time, though.
I know. I also don't remember. I'm pretty sure Plezzo is the one that has the sounds for Bakuretsu Kyoryugen. I don't remember how they're activated. I don't even know if a Bunpaki clicking in sound is even a part of that sequence. So
probably not.
Yeah. Because it has been basically since the show aired that I saw any reviews of the toys. But yeah, we get Bakuretsu Kyoryugen. It blows up Daboth, takes basically Chaos and Dogold with them because the two of them were in Daboth when it went boom. And everyone else is sad about it. But the team celebrates because, yay, we killed the big bad. Presumably.
Yep. We have.
Which is episode 24. Yep.
Except we haven't.
Yep. Episode 24, Burn the 7 Kyoryugers. So our team's celebrating, and Torin's like, well, we still have the stragglers to clean up, and the team's like, true, but we at least will separate the big win. And so Daigo heads off to say hi to Yaoi and stuff. Yaoi and the doctor. Doc's still in the hospital, and he's like, Yaoi, here's my gear, take over for me so I don't kill my back any more than I already have. Except she's not feeling very confident, and she can't even click the battery because she's feeling self-conscious, because of course she is. We check in with the generals and we find out that the freeze monster has a aura on the whole town that if you cry, you start freezing yourself. He can just do that now because
reasons.
Yep. And so basically for the rest of the episode, Yaoi is slowly freezing herself because she's upset that she can't fight, can't change, feel like she can't do anything. But Daigo and Amy try to support her as best they can. Also, the rest of the Kyoryugers almost die to a Super Saiyan Aggron, basically, who tries to blow himself up to take them out.
So Vegeta.
I think that's also him. Yes. Which I think that technically is him dead. Technically. Which basically leaves Lucky and Canderilla at the end of the episode.
Which means that our villain faction is dead.
Basically. But yeah, eventually Yaoi finds the confidence herself, is able to transforms for the rest of the team. She doesn't get an armed on technically, even though there is a Television special that shows a Plezo armed on, which is basically, I forget what prop they use, but it's basically a rocket arm. They didn't reuse the rocket module from Force, mind you, but that's basically the same idea.
Even though they should have.
Yes. But Daigo uses it instead of Yaoi because reasons. Instead, she basically becomes the sole user of the shotgun mode, plus the little tiny bayonet it pops out. That's basically hers now. Yeah, she helps fight off all the monsters. Then we get the big giant mech fight with Plezo Brachio, which is one mech away from Bakuretsu. Then Bakuretsu, they blow up the monster. Hooray. The Doc and Yaoi go to new lab since old lab is burned, but she'll be back to help. Amy doesn't understand her jealousy, but will help out Daigo because they're both stupid about this. And Kanara and Lucky Roo end up at the frozen castle that is Daboff's corpse. Probably back where it started this 4-parter.
Probably.
And that's the end of our 4 episodes. So how do you feel about the back end?
Why is the show not over?
I know.
Legitimately, why?
Well, we're still missing a Zyuden Ryu. We haven't seen Torin transform in show yet. Yeah, I got nothing else. This feels like when we were watching Go Busters and Go Busters had its finale, but it was only halfway through the show, and I'm like, why is the show not over? You beat the big bad. You even had a big climactic moment for Red. Why is the show not over?
Yep.
What do you mean if we're only halfway done?
Yep.
Well, what do you mean? I don't want to say that's a bad thing, but also I'm like, it feels like we're resetting back to square one in a not great way. Especially since square one was not that interesting, it feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at with Kyoryuger. We still have more episodes. Unless this has totally burned you from the show.
No.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out why we did a finale and didn't do a finale. is my thing.
I don't.
Because that's what this feels like.
I don't know, because like I said, Go Busters does this. I'm trying to think of another Sentai I've watched that does this, and I don't think they have. Because Kyoryuger doesn't really have this kind of like mid-season finale feeling. Shinkenger don't think it does either. So it might just be these two shows. Of all the Sentais we could have picked, it happened to be two shows that are like, here's the big mid-season finale that could have been the end of the show. Yeah, I guess in 2 weeks we'll see more Kyoryuger. I will give folks one hint about where the wheel currently stands. We are not watching Shinkenger. I'm sure that makes you happy.
I mean, meh.
Would you really want to watch a second Sentai after this Sentai? Or would you want to watch back-to-back Sentai shows?
Probably not.
Okay. like it will go back on rotation after the next show, but like it's not going to be the next thing we watch. Because I did the rolls today, and Shinkenger was one of the two, and I was like, "Oh, thank God! at least it's not Shinkenger. I'm okay with that." But that'll be in 2 weeks. But between now and then, Thursday, we're gonna fix Kiva, hopefully. Friday is Rogue Squadron 3. I don't remember the actual name of the game. It's just Rogue Squadron 3.
Close enough.
Yeah. Saturday will be a thing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And then next Sunday will be TGS, where we get to talk about, I guess, these Star Fox rumors. Amongst other stuff, unless they just announced Star Fox in 2 days. I would like a new Star Fox to be announced in 2 days. I would appreciate that.
I would too, but it's not going to happen.
I know. Got it. I saw a mention of it. If they announce a new Star Fox game and it's like, here's Star Fox 99, I might crash out over that.
I wouldn't be against it.
I wouldn't either. But of all things you decide to do.
And it probably wouldn't be a Star Fox 99. It'd probably be like a Star Fox 45 or something weird like that.
Whatever, how many ever years we've had Star Fox at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I won't say no, but I'm also like, we could do better things with Star Fox. You know that.
Or no, I get it. You know what they really ought to do?
What?
A Star Fox 64. But not the one that you're thinking of. Just to confuse everyone.
What, port the 3DS version?
No.
Oh.
Battle Royale, but it's 64 people. Just to confuse everyone.
I would laugh just from the stupidity of it. I would laugh because I'm like, I can't be mad at this. This is dumb. So I'm just going to laugh about this.
It would be dumb, but in the most fun way possible. Because the collective internet would then be like, oh, I can't wait to play Star Fox 64. And then the ones that don't know are going to be like, you mean this one?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that in, I don't know, Xbox trying to, like, say that they're changing, and I go, sure you are. We'll see.
I mean, their AI overlord is changing.
They're like, we dropped the price on Game Pass, and as I found out, not as much as you would think, considering when they increased the prices to put Call of Duty on there, and now they're taking it off. It really, I don't know if you've seen any of their messaging. It's just like, you are trying to say all the right things to make people happy about Xbox, and I don't buy a single word of it because your actions should speak louder than these words.
Uh-huh.
And all you've done is go, we've dropped Game Pass down a little bit. Here's a starter pack for Game Pass. Do you like us now? And I go, are you still putting out a Halo 1 remake for no good fucking reason? Yes, then no. No, I don't buy it. Especially what feels like a half-assed attempt at a Halo 1 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's next week, and then in 2 weeks we'll be back with more Kyoryuger episodes. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Exclamation point YouTube and chat gets the YouTube archive for this and all our other streams. It's basically going to be several weeks of just my stuff until I run out of playlists of my stuff, because that's the easiest thing for me to find of what's left. After that, then it's just whatever miscellaneous things aren't up, and I just schedule them in order I see them. Like, basically my whole run through 3 houses goes out this week. And somehow I managed to add a video twice to a playlist. I didn't know you could do that.
I mean, it makes sense that you could.
The same video twice.
Like I said, it makes sense that you could.
I was just dumbfounded because I'm like, oh, that's a copy of the episode, because I double pushed it. No, it's the same video. And I was like, wait, how did this get added twice? But yeah, that's the YouTube schedule for a while. So exclamation point social and chat gets the handles for social media, so we know we're live. Exclamation point Discord and chat listener link, drop by, say hi. We'll see you Thursday, folks.